Good evening. Welcome back to some more Lord of the Rings LCG. And tonight will be Journey Along the Anduin Nightmare Mode. I'm playing a Messenger of the King deck. I don't really like the setup process for Messenger of the King decks. I wish you could choose the ally you're going to play before drawing your hand, but according to the official ruling, you can't. Same situation with the One Ring, and I don't really like that either. I wish you could get the One Ring out before drawing your hand. But we'll play it the way the rules say to. At least as far as I know, the rules say to play it that way. So I've already got Inner Strength. That's the one master card that I play in this deck. And pick up Crows and a Hill Troll to start the game. So this is an Elrond Vilya deck, and there's Vilya, and I got Unexpected Courage in hand already. So this is looking like a pretty strong setup. Éowyn and Glorfindel can take out the Hill Troll, but I'm starting at threat low enough that I'm not going to aggro him right away, which is great. And I'm just debating whether to put Inner Strength on Elrond right away or wait until I get Unexpected Courage out. Quest lightly, make no progress, take no threat, and I don't have to engage that enemy either, since I start at pretty low threat. The attack is going to go on Elrond. Attacking enemy can't be damaged this round, which is annoying. Oh, I took the attack undefended because I wanted to use Vilya. And it's a dud, unfortunately. But on to the next round. A duplicate Glorfindel that will be used to ready up Glorfindel. And to get Unexpected Courage out on Elrond, so there's going to be a Vilya pretty much every round. And it's a good one, Beorn. So I'm going to quest for 7 here. And that's a dud when no trolls engaged. So +1 threat to both enemies, no big deal. Make a little progress. Want to slow play in phase 1 until I get set up to blitz through phase 2. I now realize that Unexpected Courage and Vilya should be exhausted, not Unexpected Courage and Elrond. So just a little attack from the Crows. Raise threat by the amount of damage dealt. No damage was dealt, and Beorn can take out the Crows. Another duplicate of Glorfindel. Get out Inner Strength now to prepare for tanking the enemy Hill Troll. Beorn's a pretty good tank too. Now we're going to Vilya. Okay. Smaller guy, but that's fine. And going to take some threat here. I didn't want to use Éowyn because I wanted to have her ready to take out both enemies in one round. And I took 3 threat, which is perfect. So we've got attacks coming in for Elrond and Beorn. And the shadow card's a dud if it's not a troll, which this enemy is not. And the other shadow card does nothing. So no damage on Elrond. And the other attack will go on Beorn. And we get a Wolf Rider. Now I realize at this point that I forgot to ready up Glorfindel, which I should have done prior to the attack phase. With one of my extra Glorfindels. And the reason I wanted to do that is to have Glorfindel ready to take on the Hill Troll. So a brief note here, if you know you're going to be using Glorfindel to attack, you always want to ready him up before the combat phase, because even if you don't think you'll need to ready him again, at least you have the option of doing it in the combat phase, and there's no reason. If you know you're going to be using him in the combat phase, there's no reason to wait until the combat phase to do it. So you want to do it during the encounter phase, which I forgot to do. but I retconned it. And now I can have Glorfindel take out the Hill Troll along with Éowyn. After using her once per game, Éowyn's also taking out the Beastmaster. And as I haven't used Glorfindel's ability during the combat phase, after I retconned the previous readying into the encounter phase, then I can ready him again with the extra copy of Glorfindel and take out the Wolf Rider before it can go back to the top of the encounter deck. It's one of the most annoying shadow cards in the game, Wolf Rider. Had I not retconned it, it wouldn't have mattered. The board is clear except for the Wolf Rider. Gonna spend another turn setting up. Could have easily just readied up Glorfindel and taken out the Wolf Rider this round, along with the brown water rats, but instead I did it last round. Either way, doesn't affect the outcome of the game. So the rats are very annoying as well. Giant Bear I love. I think about putting him out right here, but I reconsider and put Faramir out instead. And the rest of this phase is just going to be setting up with Vilya and preparing to push through phase 2 in 1 or 2 turns. So going to quest very lightly. I take some threat here. And as soon as that brown lands is traveled to, it gains a progress. So I'm going to put the attacks on Elrond, give myself the option of canceling any nasty shadow effects with inner strength. And this portion of the game is just going to be about playing allies, either with Vilya or from hand. And I'm using Stargazer here to get out the highest cost ally I can. I decided I'd like to draw Master of the Forge. So out comes Northern Tracker. Once again, questing lightly, no progress, no threat, perfect. Got 2 attacks coming. So that deals another shadow card. That gives +1 attack, and I think about canceling that with the 1 ring, but then I realize, oh, I don't need to. Elrond can still tank it with no damage, and it's not likely the brown water rats are going to do any damage, so I decide to save the threat. Raise threat by the amount of damage, no damage. And now I'm free to take out the warg with the bear. So the rest of this quest is simply going to be setting up in phase 1 and then pushing through in 1 or 2 turns in phase 2, and there's not a lot that can go wrong from this point. Once you get over that initial hill and you've got the Elrond Vilya and the Imladris Stargazer, you're in good shape. So Giant Bear number 2. Made a deck design error, and when I choose Glorfindel as my ally for Messenger of the King, I don't have a good way to play Steward of Gondor. In fact, I don't have any way. So I'm going to have to rectify that in the deck building. Either remove Steward of Gondor, reconsider the ally that I want to use with Messenger of the King, something like that. Could be this just isn't a deck where I use Steward of Gondor. Never played one like that before, but maybe I don't. So we take 1 additional threat for the Gladden Fields there. Not sure if I remember to do that or not. I don't think I ever used Heed the Dream here. Wasn't real focused on getting cards into hand. And Vilya is going to bring out the Northern Tracker. Now I'm thinking about whether I want to push through into the next phase or try to make a push through. And I decide I'm going for it. That I've got enough on the table now that I don't need to be too worried. I know I'm not going to get it in one round, but I'm just hopeful that I can do it in two without too many enemies coming out on the table. And the two cards I need to reveal are not too big a deal as one of them gets canceled. Correction, I decided last round I was going to push through this round. And Gladden Fields was a pretty good draw. I don't have unexpected courage available, so only one of those attacks can go on Elrond. Shadow card does nothing. And the rats are attacking undefended. And the shadow card does nothing. So, the giant bears are going, along with Beorn, are going to dispatch this enemy. And we're in excellent shape, needing only 4 progress with a clear board. Got another test of will. Still going to go through the motions of pulling more allies out of the deck if possible. Giant bear is great, and I decided I'd like to draw Ioreth. So giant bear number 3. And now I just need a quest for a moderate amount. But I decide I'm going to do 17 again, just like last round. And the 2 cards are a location and a treachery, which I'm going to cancel. And that's about as mild as it gets in this quest. So phase 3 is going to bring 2 more cards off the encounter deck. We got a crows into a 10 threat location, into a blank surge, to a troll spawn, which surges as well, to a marsh adder. So it's a pretty... it's not a great draw in those last 2 because a bunch of them surged, but no problem. I have the things on the board to handle it. Gladden Marshlands isn't a big deal at this point in the game. That can really ruin your day at other times in the game. So these enemies are going to engage. I just leave the Marsh Adder there for now. I'm only at 38 threat, so I can do that. Now I'm just deciding where I want the attacks to go and if I want to take any undefended. So I do decide to take this one undefended, though I did not need to do that. Elrond takes the big guy. And the rats, I'm now realizing I don't need to take attacks undefended. So the bears will take out the troll spawn. And it's a guaranteed win from here. I don't think there's any card that could have possibly resulted in a loss. As we skip staging from now on. So I'm just going to quest for enough not to take on any threat. And then we're on to encounter and combat phases. And Elrond's going to be available for 2 attacks, as I did in Vilya this round. 2 opportunities for him to cancel a shadow card. My threat should be 1 higher at this point. I forgot Gladden Fields once, but that's not going to affect anything. And if Brown Rats is the last enemy, then they are discarded, and that's going to be game. There's a few things in this quest that can happen to ruin your day early in the game. If you get a nasty encounter card off the top to pair with a hill troll, that can be pretty bad. Something like the 10 threat marshlands, you just lose if that happens. Might as well just reset, because you can't handle 10 threat and a hill troll to start the game. I'm not sure there's a deck in the game that can handle that. So you just hope that doesn't happen. There's a few other cards that can make things really difficult. But none of those came, and Villia came out, and Imladris Stargazer came out, and that was going to be a win at that point. So, thanks for watching.